James Ernest of the Grueling Truth Radio Network, here with UFC star JJ Aldrich. JJ, what got you interested in martial arts at such a young age?
My mom put me and my older sister into taekwondo when we were pretty young at a local rec center. And we did that. I did that for a long time, got my black belt, and just kind of progressed from there.
Then what was the transition like into MMA? Had you have done martial arts for a number of years, obviously with the black belt and all?
Yeah, so I did taekwondo until I was from 9 till about 13. And then when I was 13, my taekwondo instructor took me to this MMA gym. And they had like a taekwondo and an MMA gym, so I would help them with like their taekwondo class, and then I would do their MMA class afterwards. And it started off just going and having fun, and then after a few years, I got more and more interested and wanted to do it myself. I did a couple Muay Thai fights when I was 17, and then right before I turned 18 is when I had my very first MMA fight.
I've read that you take a lot of pride in your Irish ancestry. Is that true?
Yeah, I have a lot of roots close to Ireland, so it's something that, I like to carry in. I always wear the Irish flag on my UFC Breakout kit. And, I'd love to fight there one day. I actually tried to get on a card. I thought they were going to go there this year, but they ended up changing it. UFC that's this weekend in Liverpool is actually supposed to be in Dublin, Ireland, originally, but then they changed it last minute, so...
Any chances that you'll be the, how Disney's doing all the live action stuff? I've heard rumors that they're going to do a live action Brave. Any volunteers?
What? I'm sorry.
The movie Brave with the young lady from Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't actually hear about that.
Can you think of anybody that would be perfect for that role?
It's kind of funny that you say that, because a lot of people have told me that I look like the girl from Brave with the same hair color and everything else. So that'd be kind of crazy. I didn't even hear about that, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Excellent. So tell us about your professional debut with FC. Or Vista FC.
Invicta. So after my last amateur fight, I had actually fought somebody who was already signed to Invicta as an amateur. So I fought her and I ended up beating her. So we had a good way to try to plea our way in there. And so we wrote them, and they said yes right away. So I got to go from, just fighting locally, fighting on the road all the time, and then I got called up to Invicta for my very first fight. Fought a very tough opponent. I think she was like 2-0 at the time, and I picked up the win, and it was fun. It was a good experience to have your very first pro fight on such a big card, and being televised with cameras in your face just get you going as a pro right away in the big league,
How did you become a contestant on The Ultimate Fighter? What was that process like?
So, I fought for Invicta a few times, and I heard about the tryouts, and at first I was like, I'm just going to go and try out. The likes of me being picked are pretty small, but I'm going to go and give it a shot, because if I don't go and try, I'm going to regret it. Mm-hmm. So we went out, and me and actually one of my other teammates and her husband and my fiance, we all drove out there from Colorado to Vegas, and we all tried. Or me and my teammate tried out, and she hadn't had any pro fights, so they didn't end up keeping her. But they kept me all week, and they said, go home and go hear from us if we want you on the show. So we waited. I went through an entire fight camp just in case. Dieted, got in shape and everything. And they called me, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks before we had to leave. And they flew me out there and stayed out there for a week. And they had us fight to get on the show. And then that's just how it went. Fought, got on, and went from there.
What do you feel is the biggest difference between the two coaches that were on the show?
It was a pretty intense dynamic because they had already fought each other and they had a lot of animosity towards each other. I definitely think that they both had different approaches. I know, like, Claudia Steve did a lot of research into each one of us and knew exactly our strengths and where we trained from. They're at weigh-ins trying to, pick us and everything, so that was crazy. But it was really good. I ended up on Team Joanna, and I'm very thankful for that. Learned a lot, just her attitude and her, mindset and her way of thinking, really taught me a lot. But it was a really good experience, and I'm glad it went the way it did.
Did going back to freestyle cage fighting help your career?
At the time, they didn't pick me up right away after the show. But I'm actually thankful for it because I got more experience outside of the UFC, and it was really hard, just mentally, because you think you're on the Ultimate Fighter, you're automatically in, and that's not how it went. But having to get myself up again and go to a smaller show and fight, put on a performance. Also knowing that I could get a call any day, so any fight I take is risky. So I did that, and I went back to Invicta and fought. I fought another really tough girl, and right after that fight is when I got the call to the UFC. So I'm thankful for not getting on right away. I got a couple more fights in, a little bit more experience, because I had only had 3 pro fights going on to the show. So I look at it, it didn't look like it at the time. It didn't seem like a blessing in disguise, but it really was.
What was the process of signing with the UFC like? I mean, was it pretty straightforward, or was there a lot to it?
It was pretty straightforward. I had a last-minute fight, so I fought in Invicta, and then a week later I got a phone call to fight in the UFC. So I fought 2 weeks after I had just fought. So honestly, I didn't really have time to really process the fact that I was going to go out and fight in New York for the UFC, and I don't think it really hit me until after my fight. I was like, oh man, that was crazy. The whole week was crazy, just first of all, having to get all the medicals done before I left, and then leaving, getting to fight week. The whole process from signing posters and the Reebok kit and just pictures, videos, all that stuff. It all happened so fast that I didn't really have time to process it all. But I do think Invicta prepares you a lot for all that, because we do pretty much the same stuff, just on a lower level. So I think I was somewhat prepared for it, but it definitely was. It took me by surprise until after, and then I was like, "Oh man, that's that really happened."
Who do you feel has been your toughest opponent so far?
I've had a lot of really tough opponents. I've had a lot of really tough fights. Even as an amateur, I've fought super tough girls. It would be really hard to choose just one. I know the girl I fought in New Zealand, not my last one, but the time before that, I was hitting her hard, and that girl was just smiling and coming forward, so she was definitely tough. One of the hardest fights to overcome was actually an amateur fight I fought in Hawaii. She broke my orbitals the first punch of the fight and dropped me at the last minute of the fight. Or the last minute of the first round. So I came back and won the next 2 fights and ended up winning the fight. But yeah, that was definitely one of the tougher fights.
Wow, yeah, definitely. After breaking your orbital bone, to start it off and then to keep going. Wow.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Tell us about your next big fight on August 4th.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I finally get on a pay-per-view card. It's going to be my first, big pay-per-view, and I'm really excited that the UFC is giving me the opportunity. She's a really tough opponent, but, we're training hard. We got a lot of time left. And so I'm just trying to focus on me right now and just being the best me I could be. Not game planning too much yet. But it's going to be a really good card, TJ and Cody, too. I'm excited myself as a fan to see that, so.
You work with a great group at Team 303. Tell us a little bit about Tony and some of the others that work there.
Yeah, we have a really good thing going right now. It's a lot different than what people are probably used to at like big name gyms like Jackson's or ATT. But we're all family, and I think that's what makes it work so well. We could all talk to each other and be real close. I've been working with Tony for so long now. Pretty much since 303 opened up, I've been going there and just learning his jiu-jitsu and just his way of moving. It's really, really been amazing. We also, have Pat Barry, Rose, the champ. So we're a really tight-knit thing, and we have, some good amateurs coming up, and we're all close. We'll all get together and have ice baths at Rose's house and just crazy stuff. And I think the family bond and feeling in the gym is what makes us different.
Of your teammates that we might not have heard of yet, who's that next breakout star? Who's that next you?
We have a lot of good girls. We have a lot of girls to train with. Some amateurs coming up. On a local level still, but just super tough people. The girls that could, hang with me and Rose in the gym every day and keep coming back. They're super tough. So I'm excited. Hopefully, a couple of them will get a big break. One of my teammates, Audrey Perkins, she just fought in the LFA, and, she lost, but, she had fight tonight. It was a super tough fight, and it was just good to see her in there because she had taken a little bit of a layoff, so I'm glad she got back in there. So, yeah.
Tell us, who's had a big impact on your career other than the coaches? Who inspired you along the way?
When I was little, my mom, she always took me to practice and stayed with me every single day, every single practice, and watched me, and took me to tournaments all the time. And, she was probably she was my biggest supporter forever. And I wouldn't, be where I am without her. So definitely my mom, just, being a single mom and everything, just showing me how to be strong. And she inspired me throughout my life. So it'd probably be my mom if we're talking about people outside the gym.
And then if fans are wanting to learn more about you, what social media, what websites would you recommend them check out?
On Instagram at JJ Aldrich, Twitter JJ Aldrich. Those are the two you're most likely to find me at. I have a fan page as well, JJ Aldrich. So it's not too hard to find me. Yeah.
Before I let you go, any inspiring words to the young ladies that are training, that are wanting to be, the next generation of fighter?
Yeah, just keep trying. Doesn't matter if you come from a huge name brand gym, or I started at a little rec center. So if you believe in yourself and work hard, you can make your dream come true.
Awesome. Thank you, JJ, and we wish you the best of luck on your August 4th fight.
Thank you.
My pleasure.